Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer. This is Metatron speaking. I have a poem for you that I channeled just last night. I normally would have put this out, I don't know, maybe like a week from now, but it felt really important, or it felt like it was maybe more of a timely message. So I am putting that out to you all right now. So this is what makes this poem really interesting. So normally when Merlin gives me a poem, because that is normally who gives it to me, he will give it to me with 12, what are those called? Stanzas, 12 little sections. Um, and so this one is 12. But what happened was that Merlin gave me the first four, and then the voice changed. And it took me a while to figure it out that the middle four stanzas, as I believe they are called, were from Oden. And the last four, as I'm like channeling this poem, I'm going, oh my gosh, who will give me the last four stanzas of this poem? Because I've gotten poems from Merlin and Odin, but never anybody else that I can name, that I can think of. So I was asking Metatron, is it gonna be you? And he's like, no. So I was like, it's Jesus. How cool is that? So let me give you this poem, and I'm going to also be showing you a crystal grid that is going to assist with the energies that I'm feeling off of this message. And so I'll go over that with you when we're actually looking at the crystal grid. But let me just give you this poem first, kind of let it just simmer in your mind. So it's going to go, Merlin is going to be first, then Odin, then Jesus. So Merlin says, the human species is a recipe, a galactic mixing the universe has never seen. The universe is invested in you. When times are hard, humanity will get us through. Think of a cake in all its glory. Its individual ingredients are not the full story. Is a cake an egg, or milk, or flour? When you combine energies, you create a new power. Odin, we did not merely decide to combine two. 40 races from so many places are woven to make you. What would you paint if you had every color? How would it be to fill eternity and stay in its wonder? You have every choice and tool and guide what to do. See it through. Only you can decide. Choose what you want, or choose nothing at all. You can live this life big, or you can live this life small. Jesus. You have access to all magic. You have access to all time. What damaged you before, you can now unwind. Anything is possible. You can write your script. Play like a child to get the most from it. All the doors are open. All the keys are yours. The adventure is waiting when you're ready to explore. Let's try the impossible. Let's play with something new. Learning and playing are what you've come to do. That is the end of this poem. I can feel all three of their energies were used to make this poem. What's kind of hilarious, but not a coincidence whatsoever, is that the poem is about combining two things really, right? Combining everything, or combining different energies, right? So different energies or different species were combined to make humanity. They're talking about you combine these different ingredients and it makes a cake, and the cake is not the sum of its parts. The cake is greater and completely different from what was used to make the cake. Hence, humanity is something greater and completely different from what all that DNA they used to make us. And so it's going to be kind of a fun surprise to see what we are. Um, and then this poem itself was used with not just Merlin, Odin and Jesus too. So we're combining these three energies, these three massive Metatron lifetimes, and we're getting something completely different. So I'll talk about that more when I show you the crystal grid, but essentially they're telling us start playing with energy, start combining things that haven't been combined before, because what will that make? What could you make? You have access to all the colors, you have access to all of time, all of the guides, all of the tools. They're telling us we gave you guys everything. It's like they went to the store and they got like all the art supplies. It's not like, oh, you just have a couple paintbrushes and like the 7 colors of paint. We got you everything. We got you every color, every paintbrush, every like piece of clay and sculpting equipment and like drawing pads. Like we have everything. So all we have to do is figure out what's fun. How would we like to play with this? And go play with it. Go combine new things. So I want to really inspire that energy and that, I guess it's just inspiration, right? I want you to feel that inspiration from them to be brave and bold and create in new ways to make new things. Um, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at this crystal grid together. So here is our crystal grid, and this is combining components that I don't necessarily normally combine on a crystal grid, but in the spirit of combining different energies and in the spirit of having these three very different but very distinct guides, Merlin, Odin, and Jesus, combine their energies to make that poem for us. I wanted to try to both both emulate them by combining new components myself, and also combine components that I felt like embraced their energies. So it's a very unique crystal grid for me. So let's talk a little bit about this. Um, let's activate it first, and that way you can get all the good energies from this. So I have 3 different Amanda Ellis sprays I'm going to be using. This first one is her Merlin spray for connection and mentorship, Ascended Master spray. We're really just using it because it brings in Merlin's energy. And wow, I kid you not, when you spray this, it has a lot of different essential oils combined in just the right amounts. And I believe she also uses crystals and other means for making these essentially magic potions. I kid you not. These are basically magic potions in a spray, modern day. But man, it smells like the forest. It just smells like Merlin should be around the corner somewhere. So I'm gonna bring in Merlin's energy. I had to ask Odin what energy or what spray he wanted me to use to represent his energy, since she does not have an Odin spray. And he chose Archangel Sandalphon's Bronze, which is Earth Star Energy Spray. And we have the bronze coloring of the actual grid that is metallic underneath all of this. So I'm going to give that a spray. It does have an extremely earthy smell. It literally smells like you've, like, dug into the ground and you're, like, smelling wet dirt. And then for Jesus, I immediately knew which one I wanted to do, and he agreed. So I'm using Rainbow Unicorn, and this one is Playtime and Creativity Spray. So this is a perfect spray for this because they were talking about, especially Jesus was talking about being creative and being playful and embodying that energy. So let's add that. And I still don't know what that beautiful spray is. I feel like, I don't know. There's some kind of flower that blooms in springtime that I absolutely adore, and I don't know what it is, but this has that smell in there, and it's just the most beautiful, right smell. It's really hard to put words to a smell, of course. So now we have all those sprays on here. I'm going to go ahead and just off screen, I'm going to use my left hand since that's my, it's funny, my left hand is actually my dominant hand for energy work, which is funny only because I use my right hand to write with and a lot of other things. Okay, debating everything. Okay, so I just want you to enjoy looking at this while I talk to you a little bit about it. So I did bring in, of course, some some plant life. I brought in some flowers and some leaves from the outside. Um, it's funny because the leaves that I brought in gave me, it kind of, it felt like Merlin to me. I mean, I guess it could feel like Odin too. Um, the flowers to me felt more like Jesus's energy, more of that playful, gentle energy. I've used a lot of titanium coating crystals. So those are, when you use a titanium coating on something, it makes it much more potent. So I have titanium coated obsidian. This is also obsidian. Titanium coated quartz. So I just brought a lot of this into it. This, when I use a titanium coated crystal, it's oftentimes to bring in a very magical energy. That rainbow sheen on it kind of gives it that next level, and that's something I use a lot of the times with Merlin. I have some different kinds of quartz here to amplify things in different shapes. I got the quartz that's been coated in a purple um, aura coating to give it that energy. And then the elephant in the room that I was like avoiding talking to until the very end are these runes. So I have selected 4 runes to use on this grid to bring in Odin energy as much as possible. Um, I'm going to go ahead and go over why I've chosen these runes. I'm slightly nervous because I know I don't know how to pronounce these correctly, and I can see Odin, so I don't want him to like shake his head in shame as I tell you about these. But let me go ahead and I'll go over all of them with you. And I have a book here to help remind me of what everything is because I haven't memorized these at this time. Um, so let's start with this rune at the top here. So this one is Haggle. I'm probably pronouncing this wrong one way or another. Hagal. So it's a complex rune. I've placed it at the top as kind of, I probably should have gone over it last, to be honest, but too late. We just started talking about it. I put it at the top of this circle or top of this grid or towards the top because of what a powerful and complex rune it is. I want to give you a little bit of an excerpt about this to tell you what kind of magic energy I wanted this to bring into this crystal grid. It is a link to dream time, and it stands for the rainbow and the Milky Way. It is the rune of the crystal quartz, and it represents a heavenly, light bringing power that also has a structuring and balancing dimension. So I'm just going to leave it there because I don't feel like we need to go into it too much. It's really just bringing in magic at a cosmic level, at a, yeah, I'm going to say cosmic level, although it would also be on a planetary kind of level because it's talking about rainbows and quartzes, which are, growing in the ground. So that was perfect for almost like a rune that represents Merlin in a way, or maybe even represents Odin in a way. So I have that one. Another one I wanted to show you guys. I guess I'll go just around clockwise. So this one, it's spelled Thurs. I believe it's pronounced Thurs. Thurs. Um, and it is representing a destructive primordial power. So a lot of people might associate that with like disorder or chaos, but the way we're using it in this crystal grid is to represent the destruction that is required in order to allow new growth and transformation and bringing in new energy. So sometimes when you need to create something new, you first need to clear out some old energies or destroy some things to make room for that. So that is representing that potential need. To complement that rune, we have this one here, which is pronounced U, or it's spelled U-R. I believe it's pronounced Ur, and this is representing creative primordial power. So it's basically the opposite of this one. This one's kind of destructive primordial power. This is the creative primordial power. So that is more the energy of a new beginning, a new cycle, a new process, a rebirth. And so we're going to bring in that energy for this, of course. And then the last rune I have on there, way over here, it's the rune of joy. So it's spelled Wynja. I'm gonna pronounce it wrong because I haven't heard it before that I know of. I think it's Wunja. I'm not sure. You know, I'm pretty sure Odin's shaking his head at me. So at any rate, it's the rune of joy. So this is really important because it's almost like a rune that represents Jesus in some sense, right? Because it's bringing in that kind of like that joyful, childlike, peaceful, innocent energy. And so we've got our magic, we've got our necessary destruction, we've got our creation, and we've got our joy. And we're combining all of those with the crystals, with the plant life. And so what I'm hoping to bring to all of you is just that motivation to clear out anything that's holding you back, and that motivation more so to take that first step and to have fun and be creative and explore and put things together that don't necessarily seem like they go together, right? Merlin, Odin, and Jesus put things together that don't seem like they go together. And you know what? You get a brand new energy, and who knows what it is? Who knows what it can do? Because it's not just the sum of Merlin, Odin, and Jesus. It's something greater than all three of them individually added together. So that is the recipe that they are giving all of us to go make some wild and crazy new things. I hope you take advantage of it, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.